I'm so excited, Allison.
Woo-hoo.
All right. We are live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook. Okay, I'm so excited. All right. So what's up, everybody? If you don't know me, my name is Kristin Gutierrez, and I am a sales and marketing ninja. I'm a two-time best-selling author, three-time award-winning entrepreneur, and I am so excited. Is it just you, Allison, or did Marge come?
Of course, Marge is here. Marge is always here.
I am so excited to be joined
Totally.
by Allison Wonders and a friend.
Yeah.
What's
She'll,
up, Al?
she'll be sneaking in. She's not quite. She's got a moment. All right. There she is. All right. There. Uh-oh. Hello. So Marge is the head of my Inner Critics Association, and she will be with me from here until eternity. So we have to deal with that.
All right, we're going to deal with it. What's up, Allison? Why don't you tell us about who you are, and we'll introduce Marge later.
So I'm Allison Wonders. I am a speaker coach. I help people write and deliver talks and like get really clear on their messages so they can like speak with impact, whether you're doing a presentation or you're answering, what do I do? So whenever you're out in the world and you want to really be like prepared to answer, whether it's a speech or a networking event, that's what I do. I help people do that. And I am a performer. I am a comic ventriloquist, and I have my own one-woman adult show. So I understand the stage from all angles. So I've helped people get on the stage with their talks, and I have been on the stage. So I know what it looks like from all the different perspectives.
Oh my gosh. I love. Like, do you see that comment going down at the bottom now of our screen?
Woo!
All right, so we'll do that a few times throughout. Like, I heard of you first by being a TEDx coach or
Yes.
helping my good friend Stacy Lauren speak better for her TEDx. And I know personally from having applied to several TEDx's, including getting so close on one of them. And this isn't about that, but I just know that they were like, oh, we got to hire you a coach. You're going to need a coach if you're going to tackle that stage. And so you just have so much experience.
So much. It's bursting out of me. I'm ready to like share it.
What's your favorite thing to do when you help people on all the stages?
My favorite thing to do is to be on a Zoom call, kind of like we are, and actually like working through the words so that the person that I'm working with can say exactly what they want to say, and like digging deep and asking the questions and getting that really good opening story so they can get out there and like be heard right away, and just going through the whole process. I love going brain to brain with really passionate people. That is my all-time favorite part of the process. And just all the ahas and all the discoveries and all the, pieces and parts. And I just also love that it's a space for me to like just really like be my genius, which is like telling people how it is so we can like get this done. Because I work with people who are about to take the stage and we don't have time, right? To like, okay, maybe we are like, do it. This is how we do it. And you know what? It gets done and it's appreciated. And I love it. I love working with passionate people who have something they want to say, which is pretty much everybody that we're probably talking to right now.
Right? Okay. So you just said something though that's a critical, I think, point, which was your sweet spot, whether on Zoom or in person or a combination of, your sweet spot is helping people who are already getting on a stage.
Correct.
Yeah. Because it's not like, oh, I want to get on a stage, or hey, I want to do this. You're like, you have a stage booked. I mean, I have delivered a small few number of keynotes.
And she's very good because I have heard you. Very good. Love, you do something that I don't see very often.
What is it?
I'll tell you what she does. It's very hard. I consider it advanced speaking. Is you are able to ask the audience a lot of questions along the way. And that is actually a skill. That is not easy. Most people, we like put one or two in there because you have to have such confidence when you're up there to be able to do that beyond knowing what you're going to say, like because you can't do it meekly because then it doesn't work. So you really are excellent at that.
You're so, that is a comment. That compliment is well received. Like, I don't, if anybody's watching this, like, thank you. Like, to receive a compliment from anybody is sincere and genuine, but from Allison Wonders is incredible. I've had coaching, right? So, like, I've invested in myself time and time again. I've bought lots of mentorships. For the keynote I did in Lima, Peru, I worked with both a speaker coach on structuring the talk and then a comedian who would bring levity and humor, because, like, I am not funny. And so I want you to talk about that component, because you are funny. I've seen your one woman show now, and my gosh, like, I just want to become a booking agent for you, and literally just, and then I want to, like, come to these, I want to, like, tour the world with you and Marge and your cast of characters, and just, right? Like,
yeah, well, so the reality is that, again, I've worked with hundreds of people, and it is a rare find that somebody can be funny. Funny is not easy to find. And the more I do what I do, to me, I just take it for granted, because, like, I just do it, right? It's what I do. But it's not easy. It's not easy to pull it off. I mean, when you look at, like, television and movies, like, if it's flat, it doesn't work. It really doesn't always work. So that's like also advanced. It's another layer. Sometimes I'll work with people and they're like, I want to be funny. Well, you have to, first of all, be funny. You have to have it in you, and then we can kind of add it in there. So that's great. And the thing that you said is, I've worked with hundreds of people, because when it comes down to it and you're going to do your speech, it's a lot going on, right? It's hard to, like, make sense of this. And you've got, what, 20 minutes sometimes? Yeah. So having that person to, like, do this with it just works. It works. That's why I've been doing this full time for 4 years, because it works.
Yeah. Yeah. And yes. And yes. I just want people to pick this up, right? Like, that in order to go from good to great, how do we reinvest in ourselves and continuously invest in, like, the nuance, the turning the dial 1%, right? You landed the keynote, you got the stage, you have the masterclass booked, you are presenting virtually for the first time or the 100th time. But the only way I actually got great at becoming my own coach isn't because I spent 20 years in corporate sales. I thought because I spent 20 years in corporate sales and I had done all the presentations and I had done all the stakeholder meetings and I had flown all over the world, that I could nail this, like, speaking in a virtual room, commanding a virtual group to an action point. And I couldn't. I failed 6 times in a row before I had to humble myself, relearn the process, invest more of my time, more of my money. And so go back to that comedy thing, because, again, that's just one component of what you add. When somebody gets coaching from you, they don't need to get coached by a comedian and by a speaker coach and it's like they get a lot in one package with you.
Well, I mean, what they get with me is a lot of creativity, because that's where I come from. So I'm able to really, like, think out of the box and, like, give people ideas and say things that they wouldn't have thought of before, and maybe even throw a prop on stage. I mean, I just was working with someone, I can't even remember who it was, but I remember. So she was talking about how when you walk into a room, when you have the confidence, like, you just attract people. And I said, oh, well, why don't you get a magnet and, like, online when she's doing this, or offline, and use that to show, because when you do that, you don't have to talk. So I really like finding ways to use gestures and maybe props so that you don't have to say everything, and also slides, not too many, so that you can be creative. So I bring a lot of creativity to what people do, which makes it more fun.
Yeah, fun, right? The audience should be having fun. They're going to remember things if they're having fun, if they're interacting, if they're laughing, if you're telling stories that are meaningful. I mean, I just gave the freebie tip, use a prop. Allison says use a prop, but that doesn't come common sense to most of us. Like, that's why we have to invest.
Well, I'll tell you what else doesn't come common sense is that nobody thinks to say you when they're talking to an audience. They're just kind of talking overall about a concept. Sometimes they say we, which is fine. But when you say you, then the audience is like, oh, you're talking to me. Like, there's just they forget about talking directly to the audience, which is when the audience is like, yeah, they're shaking their head now. All of a sudden they're inside of your talk. So yeah, there's a lot of tips and tricks.
Well, and we're talking about virtual rooms being your favorite type of rooms to coach people to present in, because now they're everywhere. I mean, they've been everywhere for a while, but we are on Zoom all the time, looking how we look, and we have to be relatable. We have to speak to the people, and we got to keep them here because their attention span, whether it's their phone or something else or emails, all of the notifications, we are being bombarded. So I was going to ask you, like, tell me a little bit then about how you help them command the room.
So I really realized, and it's been a while, that like this box, right? We're broadcasting ourselves. This is like our own little, television studio. And we're not thinking that way. We're just kind of showing up and we're talking. But we all know those people on Zoom that like we want to buy from, we want to take their classes, we want to go to their Zooms because they have such magnetism and presence. And their background's clean and their whole energy is just really clear. And it matters. It makes a big difference. So I've been watching all these Zooms and I'm like, people are missing opportunities to brand themselves. Like what is your background saying, right, to people? So
you're talking to me right now.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to do that. Saying, look, I love my house. I love where I'm at. So, right. But it's fun to play with. I think so. We're going to be talking about this at the masterclass, about all the different things you can do to up level your Zoom presence so that you can be noticed, so people can pay attention to you. Because like it or not, we are competing with everybody in that Zoom. And I don't want to be competing, but it's a missed opportunity. This is a place to play. How do you want to play? How do you want to show up? What is your brand beyond your words, which are equally as important? So we're going to like break it down. We're going to give you like really clear ideas. And by the end of the masterclass, that's happening on this Thursday at 12 Eastern, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what. We should take a picture at the beginning of everybody in the Zoom box. And by the end, people will have changed things because, right, we do that as we go along. I guarantee you, by the end, it'll be a shift. And it makes a difference. I mean, it's hard to forget me because I show up with clouds and I show up sometimes with Marge. Hello. Yeah, that's me. But I don't want to be shown up. I don't want to be here. I think this is all a bunch of crazy stuff. Right. So Marge, again, is that voice in our head that says to us, no, don't show up on Zoom. Don't do it. Don't, I tell you, right? We're always like having to battle that part of us to be so present because I know I'm being so present lately. I'm on YouTube now. Now I just started doing more Facebook and like, it's a lot of yourself being out there. But I also want people to come to my shows and I want people to like, come to my masterclass. And I want people to, ultimately, buy from me, really. I mean, let's talk turkey.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. Don't let me forget. We need to take a picture of what we all look like at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you're right. I mean, subtly, subconsciously, or flat out like, hold on, let me change my background. Yeah. People will be implementing the strategies that you're teaching us. And it is all happening on Thursday.
Yeah. And it's going to be so fun because we are doing it together. And this energy present situation, pretty good. Gold. I'm calling it gold.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm going to just stay in my lane and let you do your thing. It's going to be so fun. It really will be so fun and like gold. And it's totally free.
Totally.
And we have 54 people registered already.
And we're going to be doing some hot seats so that we can do some Zoom box audits. So we can have you like just, right? Think about the shift. Like when you're done with this masterclass, you're going to be showing up in a different way and people are going to notice you. And it's going to be so great and fun. And your confidence will just not all the way here yet because we just levels. Some of you, I don't know. but I
Isn't
just like
this
doing this with my hand. Okay.
Yeah, no, it is. I take it for granted because as a little girl, I wanted to be in Hollywood, and like I'm from Indiana, and I guess ironic or not that now I live out here. It's kind of that my parents will not let me forget the one time as kids when we came out to Disneyland and I brought my audition clothes expecting to be
Aww.
seen or recognized. Yes. And then as a little girl, man, like I think my parents have digitized. There were 5 siblings, and like we had one of those 1980s camcorders, and we were right. You know what that was like, right? Constantly making videos. I just like
Wow.
wanted to be in front of the camera. And then 10 years ago when Facebook Live started, or whenever that was, like I went live and I was really bad. In fact, the thing that I want people to hear is some people are like me, right? Where we've already been showing up, but I've still been humbled. And so one time I was talking on stage and somebody pulled me aside and was like, Kristin, you're really good, but you talk up. And every time you talk, you ask a question instead of dropping your voice and commanding the room. And I couldn't hear it. And I still do it. And now that I've done that, like this is going to bother me. But I listen to my old lives and I say, whoa, because the voice tone is so different, even though it's the same voice. And so to be able to receive coaching like that, like the coaching Allison will give us on Thursday, it doesn't mean that you're coming from a weak place. It actually means that you're in a stronger place because you're saying, I don't have it all figured out. And I don't know how to bring comedy in. I don't know how to talk to you in the room. I don't know how to change my voice tone to show up. I don't know how to sit in the box the right way. I can't wait to see what I might learn on Thursday.
And you know, what I realized is it took a while, like to translate everything that I did with people on stages, but this is a stage, right? And, you know, Kristin, you've been practicing on this stage thousands of times, right? Between all of your lives and all of your classes, right? And everyone takes you to the next, and that builds the presence. So, you know, none of this is going to happen if you don't keep showing up, right? We're going to clean you up. We'll tidy you up. We'll give you all the pieces, but right, you just have to keep doing it. And one of the things we're going to talk about is the Marge, right? Marge just makes it hard for us to keep doing it. So, you know, we got to know that every time the stakes get higher, Marge gets louder, right? It's just a fact. So, but you got to just keep doing it. Thousands of hours this woman has had, which is why when she shows up, we listen, right? Like we listen to, like, you are a presence, but presence takes practice.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And so let's also talk about everybody else, because I want to talk about the people who are scared, who Marge is taking over, right? Like who they've never done a masterclass. They are always off camera because they fear what they look like, right? And there is something to be said about showing up in a Zoom without makeup on and your workout clothes still. But there's also something to be said about working through the insecurities. And I think that there's so many other people on the other end of the spectrum who are scared to take their first step, that they can't even get to their thousands. So then the comparison keeps them stuck where they are. And that's really one of your stronger suits, is like helping people get started.
Exactly. Because the truth is that everybody who shows up on these Zooms and masterclasses has something they really want to share with the world. Like if you ask anybody, right, any you listening, right, like you have something to say. You just might not know how to say it, right?
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do, you know, or what I do with people is I help you to figure out what to say and practice it so that you feel confident, because it is hard to just show up. And I also have a little, like, my new like thing is YouTube shorts. I don't know anybody. Do YouTube shorts. We don't know anybody. I've been doing them. I get lots of views. I don't know one person. It feels so good to do it on, like, in a place, right, where you feel safe. Even I want to feel safe, and I'm a performer. So, you know, it's just like finding the little places to just keep expanding your voice, to keep playing with it. Because I know, and I talked to someone the other day, I noticed them on one of these Zooms, and I was like, you are not speaking up. You have got something really good to talk about, but we're not hearing you. And I was like, I want to help you get that voice out. What can I do to help you? Because it was bothering me that I don't know her and what she has to say. And I feel that way with everyone. I feel like we're all here, and ultimately, we need to speak, but when we know what we're going to say, Marge is a lot quieter, and we just do it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I got the chills. Like, there really is something to be said about helping people find their voice and feel the courage to speak up. I know in high school, I went to a traditional public co-ed high school, and I wasn't the smartest. I'm not the book smartest, right? And all the boys in my high school, they would speak up, and they were in the advanced classes, and then my face would turn red. And so that would keep me quiet because I didn't want my face to turn red when I had a question or a thought to contribute. I ended up going to an all women's college, which then like leveled the playing field. We did go to school looking like this. It wasn't about what we looked like. It was about finding our voice in that school. Ironically, despite all of the compliments you've showered my way today, my face still turns red a lot. Like either it's on stage or just talking to a friend, right? But I've learned to I sometimes actually make fun of it. Like, oh, let me cool myself down, because maybe it's showing red or maybe it's just my internal body heat rising. But I've stopped letting it stop me from sharing my voice. And that, again, it's why you've given me the chills, because you have a gift to help others find that confidence within them.
Yeah, and I love it. And I this is my very first masterclass, and I love what I really got is that this is a stage. This is a stage that I've been looking for online to help people on, because it's your opportunity to speak, because you have to tell your story, right? You have to learn to do it. And then I just think it's an incredible platform for people who want to speak. And who knows where you go from there when you do a masterclass and you have the confidence. But we're not doing that. We're doing how to tidy up your Zoom box.
Yeah. Right. Oh, this is gonna be so fun. Okay, so join us. I've dropped the link. We'll make sure everybody on LinkedIn has the link also, and but everybody on YouTube has it. Everybody on Facebook has it. Here it is, right below the screen. SayYesAndFigureItOut.com/save the date. You'll be with me and Allison and Marge. Is Marge going to make an appearance?
Yes, Marge always makes an appearance. Yeah, I got to tell you why it's not a good idea for you to show up. Yeah, Marge is going to help us to know why we're not good enough. Exactly. And we're going to tell Marge we are good enough. Really? Yeah. Really? Yeah, we are. Aren't we, Kristin? Are we good enough? We are. It's true.
We all have our doubts from day to day, hour to hour, but life is going to life. And the thing that we can control is how we show up on the Zoom box with our camera, with the right accoutrements.
And support, and all the support.
Yeah. It's going to be so fun. So if you guys want to have a lot of fun, register, come hang out with me and Allison on this Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and we will have fun. And she'll do some hot seats. It'll be super great.
Yay, so fun. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.